So, hello everyone, my name is Rikay Makalisang and we are the reporter from Group 3. So, for today's video, we will tackle about mathematics of finance. In this lesson, you will learn about simple and compound interest, credit card and consumer loans, stocks, bond, and mutual bond. So, to start, let me give you a short background about mathematics of finance. So, financial mathematics. It is the application of mathematical methods to financial problem, and it has an equivalent names which is sometimes used as an quantitative finance, financial engineering, mathematical finance, and computational finance. It draws on tools from probability, statistics, stochastic processes, and economic theory. So mathematics affects the financial decision that we make every day, from paying our bills to using coupons at the grocery store. Math is a part of our everyday lives. So number sense in a facility with mathematical concept is especially useful in banking. We use math for budgeting, spending, saving, and investing. So nakaka-epekto ang matematika sa mga desisyong pinansyal na ginagawa natin sa pang-araw-araw. Mula sa pagbabayad ng ating mga bills hanggang sa paggamit ng mga coupons sa grocery store, ang matematika ay bahagi na ng ating pang-araw-araw na buhay. So, ang kahulugan ng numero at isang pasilidad na may konseptong mathematical ay lalong kapaki-pakinabang sa pagbabangko. Ginagamit din natin ito para sa pagbabudget, paggastos, pag-iipon, at pangungumulan. So, mathematical finance, it is also known as an quantitative finance and financial mathematics. It is a field of applied mathematics concerned with mathematical modeling of financial market. So, ang mathematics finance ay kinilala rin bilang quantitative finance at financial mathematics. Ito ay isang larangan ng inilapat na matematika na may kinalaman sa mathematical modeling ng mga financial market. So, financial mathematics mainly uses the modern mathematical theory and method. Sinasabi dito, ang pangunahing ginagamit ng financial mathematics ay ang modern theory, which is tulad ng stochastic analysis, stochastic optimal control, portfolio analysis, nonlinear analysis, multivariate statistical analysis, mathematical programming, modern computational, at marami pang iba. So, that's it. So, let us proceed to the next topic, which is all about simple and compound interest. And i-report na ng ating next reporter.
Hello everyone, my name is Jasper Aguilar from Group 3. For this topic is simple interest. Simple interest is an interest calculated on the principal portion of a loan or the original contribution to a saving account. Simple interest does not compound, meaning that account holder will only gain interest on the principal, and a borrower will never have to pay interest or interest already accrued. What is simple interest and example? Generally, simple interest paid or received over a certain period is a fixed percentage of a principal amount that was borrowed or lent. For example, say a student obtains a simple interest loan to pay 1 year of college tuition, which costs $18, and the annual interest rate on the loan is 6%. The product of principal fee, rate R and time in years ay give simple interest. Pag T, multiply siya and the percent of R divide then the multiply lahat by PRT.
Compound interest is interest calculated on top of the original amount, including any interest accumulated so far. The compound interest formula is A equals P, open parenthesis, 1 plus R, N, close parenthesis, NT. The meaning of the formula: A is amount, P is principal, R over N, R is interest rate decimal, N is the number of the times interest is compound per unit, NT is time.
Simple and compound interest. Simple interest is interest charged on borrowed amount or interest on invested amount for entire period. It does not include interest on interest. Simple interest are kinakalculate sa unang bahagi ng pautang o ang original contribution. Sa simple interest, hindi na included yung interest on interest. Kapag yung isa may-ari na nagkaroon na ng interest sa principal, yung borrowed hindi na magbabayad ng interest. The formula of simple interest is equals principal amount multiplied by interest rate multiplied by time period divided by 100. Example, a person borrows $12,500 from a lender for 3 years at a rate of 10%. The simple interest calculation will be as below. Simple interest equals yung 12,500, yun yung principal amount natin, multiply by 10, yun naman yung interest rate natin. Tapos, multiply natin siya sa 3, yun naman yung time period natin. Tapos, i-divide natin yung lahat ng yun sa 100, magiging 3,750 siya. Compound interest. Compounded interest is interest calculated on the amount that includes the principal plus accumulated interest of the previous period. The interests are usually expressed as percentage, kagaya na lang ng loan. 'Di ba minsan pag umuutang tayo sa mga loan, yung interest is by percentage. For example, pag nangutang tayo ng 5,000, yung interest niya is 10%. Sa compound interest naman is included yung interest on interest. Bali yung dito, dahil compound siya, magbabayad ng interest yung unang may-ari and yung borrower. That's why, tinatawag na compound kasi 2 or more than 2 yung nagbabayad ng interest. Hindi kagaya ng sa simple interest, yung unang may-ari lang yung magbabayad ng interest. Compound interest, ito yung interest na kinikita mo sa interest, kumbaga interest na may interest pa. Example, a person borrows $50,000 loan from Naintal Bank at a rate of 10% for 5 years compounded yearly. Principal equals 50,000, which is principal amount. I equals 0.10, which is interest rate. T equals 5 years, which is time period. So compound interest will be CI equals $50,000, open bracket, open parenthesis, plus 1 plus 0.10, close parenthesis, 5 minus 1, close bracket, equals $30,525.5. Thank you.
Hi, let me introduce myself first. I am Pamela Ramirez, currently criminology student. Today, we are going to talk about simple interest versus compound interest. Do you have any idea what is simple and compound interest? Simple interest is a quick and simple method of calculating a loan's interest rate. The daily interest rate is multiplied by the principal by the number of days between payments to calculate simple interest. On the other hand, a compound interest, also known as compounding interest, is the interest on a loan or deposit that is computed using both the initial principal and the interest earned over time. The difference between simple and compound interest: simple interest is solely calculated on the principal balance, whereas compound interest is calculated on both the principal and cumulative interest. When you borrow money, simple interest benefits you, whereas compound interest benefits you as an investor. Simple interest is preferable for borrowers since they avoid paying interest on interest. Simple interest make debt repayment easy because your profits earn money. Compound interest can help you develop wealth over time.
What is credit card? A credit card is a plastic thin card issued by a bank. It's much more easier, less hassle to carry more money. But Instead of carrying more money, you can use your credit card. What is consumer loan? Consumer loan is a personal debt that you can also pay your bills. But how can you borrow them? They will let you borrow them if you have maintain or balance salary. They will let you borrow money for them, but you should pay them. But how can you pay them? You can pay them with your salary if you have full time or part time.
The APR or annual percentage rate is your interest rate stated as a yearly rate. An APR for a loan can include fees you may be charged, like origination fees. APR is important because it can give you a good idea of how much you'll pay to take out a loan. Annual percentage rates refers to the yearly interest generated by a sum that charged to borrowers or paid to investors. APR is expressed as a percentage that represents the actual yearly cost of funds over the term of a loan or income earned on an investment.
Stocks. Stocks are an investment in a company and are very common in the financial world. If you own a stocks, you are part owner of the business. Stocks are more volatile than bonds, meaning there is typically is more risk, but the return are frequently greater than. The value of stocks fluctuate, meaning or any point your original investment could be more or less than the stocks it's worth. The goal of buying stocks is to sell them at the higher price than you bought them. There are many different strategies na magagamit mo when you're buying or selling stocks. A fiduciary can help you to develop investment strategies based on the risk tolerance. So, fiduciary, makakatulong to sa'yo kung paano magbuo ng strategiya para sa investment based on your risk tolerance. Stocks are purchased inside the brokerage account, which is an account that allows you to deposit money. That is used by your broker to acquire different investment and stocks. Stocks are sold in a whole numbers of shares from 1 to hundreds of thousands shares. As you can see, this is the formula of stocks. Total dividend equals open parenthesis total shares close parenthesis times open parenthesis dividend per share close parenthesis. Dividend per share rational of the dividends to the number of shares. Dividend share in the company's profit. Stocks shares in the ownership of a company.
Good afternoon, sir. Bonds. One of the biggest difference between stocks, bonds, and mutual funds is how each of them allows you to invest your money. For example, bonds are actually a loan to a company or the government. Each bond has a maturity date, which is when bond is redeemed at its face value. At the time of maturity, you, the bondholder, will receive the original amount of money you invested back plus interest. Though less volatile than stocks, bondholder can lose money if the value of their bonds decrease. This can happen due to higher interest rates or if the credit quality, a criteria that informs investor of the risk of default, of the bonds decrease prior to maturity. Unlike stocks, the commission to buy a bond is hidden inside the price of the bond. Typically, a bond purchasers pays a 2% commission to buy and another 2% to sell a bond. One way to minimize this cost is to buy a bond that is expected to hold to maturity, which is the date the bond officially ends. There is no commission to get your money back when the bond matures. Yung bond po is parang same lang po siya sa loan na inuutang sa government. Yung maturity date is parang due date na kailangan mababayaran mo siya sa exact time na pinag-usapan nyo nung nagpautang ko sa'yo. Sa formula po na sa pag-compute ng bond is coupon equals face value is coupon rate, face value the amount of payable on the maturity date, P equals F divide 1 plus R times N. Price of a bond, the price of a bond purchase times N equals yung time. The price of bond is purchase times nere. Ang iutang mo is 1,000. Yun po yan. Tapos the amount of maturity date is yung 1,000 plus interest. Bali, ito mas matataas, mas matataas po yung 1,000 kasi and po yung time is yung palugit na maturity date. Example.
What exactly are mutual funds? A mutual fund is a firm that collects money from multiple investors and invests it in securities such as stocks, bonds, and short-term loans. The mutual fund's portfolio is made up of all of its holdings.